Once upon a time, there was a big, bad Instagram star, and he frequently made outspoken and controversial comments about the three little pigs. He'd hacked a phone call between the third little pig and Snow White, and broken a controversial story about how Snow White bought all of her clothes on eBay. As a result, the three little pigs decided to build houses to keep all that hot air and pomposity out. The first little pig built a house of straw. The second little pig thought, nah, that's not enough, so he blocked him on Twitter and built his house out of sticks. And the third little pig wasn't taking any chances, so he took out a court injunction and built his house out of bricks. One day, the big bad Instagram star came straight from his appearance on a trashy game show to confront the first little pig in the House of Straw about some comments he'd made about whether Mikel Arteta was the right manager for Arsenal FC. And the little pig was singing, "Who's afraid of the Instagram star? The Instagram star, the Instagram star. Who's afraid of the Instagram star? Sha la 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 la." The big bad Instagram star said, little pig, let me come in." And the little pig said, "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. I will not let you in." And the big bad Instagram star said, "Well, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." And he combed his eyebrows, took a deep breath and went because guess what? The big bad Instagram star had asthma. A boy going to the park with his dad, who clearly didn't know who he was, came along and saw him coughing and said, "Oh, I saw this at school. You need a blue reliever inhaler." And he gave the big bad Instagram star 2 puffs of his blue reliever inhaler through a spacer because he was coughing a bit, but he wasn't too bad. And the big bad Instagram star felt immediately better. After posing for a selfie with the child, he grinned from ear to ear and said, "Well, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." And he took a deep breath and he blew down the house of straw, and the little pig ran to his brother in the house of sticks, and the big bad Instagram star went home to update his social media accounts. The next day, the big bad Instagram star discovered that he could no longer troll the second little pig on Twitter because he blocked him. So he went to find the second little pig in the house of sticks to insult him about which brand of trainers he wore. And then he discovered 2 little pigs singing together. "Who's afraid of the Instagram star? The Instagram star, the Instagram star. Who's afraid of the Instagram star? Tra la 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 la." The big bad Instagram star said, little pigs, let me come in." And the little pig said, "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. I will not let you in." And the Instagram star said, "Well, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." And he took a deep breath and went, "Oh, goodness, he isn't strong enough to blow down the house of sticks because his asthma isn't under control. He needs a brown preventer inhaler to get rid of the swelling in his lungs." 3 people stopped to laugh, take pictures and rang the newspapers to see how much they'd pay for the photos. But a second child, walking home from school, knew exactly what to do because she'd learnt about it at school. "I think I know what's wrong," said the child. "Let's look at your asthma action plan." And he took it out of his backpack and started to read it. After a moment, he said, "Little girl, what's your name? I could help you get 10,000 followers in a week. Do you know I've forgotten to take my preventer inhaler for a whole 2 weeks?" And so she helped the big bad Instagram star to take 2 puffs of his preventer inhaler to take away the swelling in his air passages. And he put his inhaler by his toothbrush and set an alarm on his phone so that he would remember to take his inhaler after brushing his teeth every morning and every night from now on, even if he felt well, to prevent coughing and wheezing. And after taking his preventer inhaler every day, twice a day, for 2 weeks, the big bad Instagram star came up to the house of sticks again and said, "Well, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." and he took a deep breath and he blows down the house of sticks, and the two little pigs run to their brother in the house of bricks. And the big bad Instagram star went straight back home to instruct photographers to go to little girl's house. They doorstepped her parents for a quote and a picture for a feature for a national Sunday newspaper to educate the nation about good asthma care with himself as expert. The next day, the big bad Instagram star found the three little pigs together in the house of bricks, and the little pigs were singing, "Who's afraid?" Oh, well, you know what they sang. And the big bad Instagram star said, little pigs, let me come in." And the little pigs said, "Not by the head, blah, blah, blah." And the big bad Instagram star said, "Well, I'll huff and I'll puff and well, you know." And he took a deep breath and went, but even though he'd been taking his preventer inhaler every morning and every night for weeks and weeks, he couldn't blow down that house of bricks. So he decided to climb down the chimney, and the little pigs saw him, call the police because he'd violated an injunction, and lit a fire. And the big bad Instagram star breathed in the smoke from the fire, and he had a big asthma attack. What did the little pigs do to save his life? He was out of breath. He couldn't speak a full sentence. He couldn't walk. He was wheezing. He looked really grey, maybe a little bit blue round his mouth. Oh no! The little pigs finally felt sorry for him, and they decided to help him. They kept him calm, sat him up, and rang 999 for an ambulance. A helicopter arrived and filmed the whole event live on Channel 4 News. The little pigs gave the big bad Instagram star one puff of his blue reliever inhaler through a spacer every minute for 10 minutes until the ambulance arrived. When the big bad Instagram star came out of hospital, he realised that the three little pigs had saved his life because they knew the first aid for asthma. So they all got Pride of Britain awards. He decided to interview the two children who helped him with his inhalers and posted it to millions of his followers so that he got 2 million more. I'd like to tell you that they became the best of friends and they all lived happily ever after, but 2 years later in his memoirs, Big Bad Instagram star claimed that he'd had to instruct the first little pig on exactly what to do with the 10 puffs of blue inhaler and so on, and that the third little pig had had a panic attack and was frankly useless. So that set off another Twitter spat. Hey ho!